Good morning, welcome to my channel. My name is Jo, and today we're going to do some Heartbreak Asks and Love Answers cards. So Heartbreak Asks are cards based around questions that arise when we go through heartbreak, and Love Answers are answers based on nature and the elements: fire, earth, air and water. So I'm just going to crack on and we'll do the Heartbreak Asks first. So I'm going to go with whatever cards come out. So if it's one or two, I'm going to shuffle them. And okay, so if it's lots, then I'll do lots. But okay, the first one is Heartbreak Asks, I don't understand. This is a common one that comes up when we go through heartbreak, because when we're feeling heartbreak, it's normally because we don't understand a situation, whether someone's left because a relationship's come to an end, or whether someone's passed on, because there's so many things when someone passes on that we don't understand and we don't have answers to. So this is one that is probably one of the most common that comes up. And what I would say for this is, when you go through that constant, I don't understand, I need answers, I don't understand, I need answers, what I would say is begin with yourself and take a moment to sit with yourself and begin to understand yourself. Because as you go on that journey of understanding yourself, your answer to this situation, or your clarity, your deeper understanding, your clarity, your ability to see more clearly will become very apparent. And what most of us do when we go through something, we're like, I don't understand, I need answers, I need answers, I need answers. But we're looking externally, and we will never get those answers externally. The only way you have a deeper understanding of any situation is by going on that inner journey and understanding who you are. And as you go on that journey, these answers will be revealed to you. So I always think, you know, going through heartbreak is one of the most amazing things, you know, and I don't say that lightly or flippantly, because I know that so many people, when you go through things like this, it's so challenging, you know, and trust me, I've been there, so I know. You know, I've been on the floor, I've been in bed, putting the covers over my head, not wanting to get out of bed. I've experienced all of those emotions. And at the time, you absolutely believe that it will never change. But it absolutely 100% does change. But I do believe that we can accelerate healing. And you know, there's the greatest saying, time is the greatest healer. And it's very true, it does take time to heal. But I do believe that we can, you know, pain is not an option, because there's always going to be pain in life, but suffering is an option. And I do believe that we can accelerate the healing process to help the suffering, and to take that burden of suffering off of our shoulders. So I would say, yep, embrace the pain, because it's going to be inevitable and it's part of life, but use all the tools that you can to accelerate your journey through healing, so that you can prevent yourself from unnecessary suffering and wasting precious lifetime. I will be running workshops on here on different subjects, and one of the subjects that I will be doing will be connecting to the self and how to do that. So just look out on here and you'll see details of those workshops that will be coming up in 2022. Okay, so the next one, Heartbreak Asks, maybe you will call. This is normal. This is something that it's normally when a relationship ends, this one. We kind of go through that thing where our mind is kind of in the, is it real or is it not real? And we go through that thing oh, maybe you will call, maybe you will call, and we live in that kind of hope that maybe someone will call us. And that's absolutely normal. And I think why I put this one in here, because most people go through this thing where they've got that thought in their head and they can't get rid of the thought, and they get frustrated, they get angry, they get tearful, they become highly emotional because you're playing that thought over. Maybe you will call, maybe you will call, and you're building anxiety, you're building stress, you're becoming more, it's almost like a desperation because you're fueling that thought in your mind. And what I would say for this one, it's normal, it's natural, and you have to let it go through that process. But what I would say is, you know, just look at that thought as a thought, and just see it as, okay, it's going to play over so much that eventually it's going to tire, and try to detach yourself from that thought. And I will be giving tips and techniques on how to do that. But, you know, because what happens, it's a bit like a child. When a child has a tantrum, that thought is like playing over. It's getting more and more stressed, more and more anxious. Like a child, it has a tantrum, it gets more and more irate, stamping, stomping, crying. And then there comes a point where the child will go through all of that, and then it will absolutely tire itself out. That's the same thing with a thought like this. It'll keep playing over and over and over, and then it'll eventually tire out. And sometimes when you just become aware of that, when you're going through something like this, if you can just become aware of it and look at it from a different perspective, you can reduce the length of time that you suffer those thoughts. So if I look back, if someone had said this to me then, I probably would have thought, actually, it's true, that will tire, and I am feeling it, and it's part of the pain, but at the same time, it is just a thought. But no one actually said that to me then, and you know, I played it over and I couldn't understand why these thoughts become all-consuming. But it's normal because you're taken out of your comfort zone, and when we are taken out of our comfort zone, logic disappears and emotion takes over, and we're consumed by emotion, we're driven by emotion, and then the imagination kicks in and everything becomes out of proportion. So it's something like maybe you will call, it builds, it accelerates. So it starts off, maybe you will call, no you won't call. Maybe you will call, but did you say you'd call? Maybe you did say you'd call, maybe you didn't say you'd call. You go down many different avenues, and just try to look at them as just thoughts that are there, and to ride the wave, because at some point the wave will crash and you will be in still water. And maybe some of you will think, well, actually that's not giving me a solution. Sometimes we can't have an absolute solution, but what we can have is a different perspective. And when we look at it differently, it can reduce the time of suffering, or it can be a revelation when we go, actually, yeah, that's true. It'll be easier if I look at it like that. So I just wanted to put this one in there because it is a common one. It is one that really does cause torment. And I will be doing a workshop on the questions that come up that are the common questions that we don't necessarily have an easy answer to, but how to kind of use tools and techniques to alleviate them. Okay, so that's my tips for today. We're just going to do one. I'll do the love answers. And let's just have a look at this one. Okay, so we've got one card on love answers. Now, love answers are based on nature, and they're based on the elements fire, earth, air, and water. And they're taken in nature after I've meditated, and these are photographs that I've taken. So this one is fire, and when we're in that place of questioning, you know, at the beginning of heartache, when we're in that place of where we're questioning everything and there's so many things consuming us, we can go into a place of anger and a place of rage and a place of frustration. That's normal, it's natural, and you kind of have to almost go through that. But at the same time, if you look at this picture, there's lots going on. This is kind of what you want to aim for. There's a lot of fire, there's a lot of passion in here. But look at the water, look at the sky. The colour is vibrant and you can feel the heat, but it's absolute calmness and serenity. So what you want to aim to do, and it is 100% possible, is to have that emotion and that fire and the passion going, but to stay completely calm and centered and balanced. And that's what I'm aiming to do with everything I'm doing on the channel, is to give you the tools to remain calm, remain balanced, to feel the emotion, but to be detached from the emotion so that it doesn't deplete you, and to use that emotion and this passion here to drive you forward with love, coming from a place of goodness and forward thinking and acceleration. So I hope that makes sense, and that's it for today. I like to keep the videos really short because I think when you're going through any kind of heartbreak or emotion, you tend to dip into things and dip out of things, and your patience and tolerance levels are low, so you don't want to be listening to something for hours because it can become quite irritating. So some of these videos are really short for that purpose, so that you can dip in, have a look, get an answer, and kind of, you know, maybe practice what the tips and techniques that I'm giving you, but so that you can almost just use it as a resource where when you're feeling bad you can just get some relief. And this is what it's about at the end of the day, to ease suffering, to just give some peace and calmness in those moments, because those moments can be so heavy, and life is short, life is precious, and we have one of them on this life path. So we want to make sure that we enhance it, we elevate it, we accelerate it. Okay, stay strong, stay focused, stay happy, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.